Oh, hey, Mitch, what's new?
Hey, Pops. Thinking about starting my own business. I've been hearing a lot about the importance of a business plan. I was wondering if you could break that down for me.
Oh, yeah, the business plan. That's the backbone of any successful business. Uh, you bet I can help, and I think the most important thing is first of all to understand the importance of that business plan. It's like having a road map before you set out on a road trip, or a compass in a ship. You were in the Navy, you know about ships, and you certainly couldn't sail from here to Hawaii without some kind of compass, some kind of direction. And that's what a business plan is for. That's why it's so important.
A roadmap. Okay, so shows where you want to go, how you're going to get there, kind of thing.
Exactly. It kind of outlines the goals of the business. It outlines some of the strategies and the steps you're going to take to reach that goal. Uh, and hopefully it helps you anticipate some of the bumps in the road along the way, so that when they do come, you're not caught completely off guard, and it doesn't set you back too far, because you've already anticipated that some of those things might happen. Um, so, um, but basically, with a business, starting a business, it's like a first impression. It's like the first step you take in that business development. If you take a good solid one, then you're on the right path. But if you really stumble with that first one, then everything after that seems to just be out of sync.
That makes sense. So, what else is a business plan good for?
Well, one of the things it's good for is any business startup needs money. And if you're going to be looking for money from investors or somebody else, they're going to want to know that you've thought this thing through and you've got a good plan ahead of you. Otherwise, they're not going to want to throw their money at you. So when you approach investors, whether it's a family member or whether it's a completely anonymous investor, you really want to have a good plan in place to show them that you've done your homework, you've thought it out as much as you can. And of course, they don't expect that you'll have all the answers, because it's just starting. But that way, you're much more likely to find the financing that you really want. So it's your first impression. You've got to put your best foot forward when you're looking at somebody to invest money in your company.
Got it, got it. So, it's kind of like a resume for my business almost.
Exactly. It's exactly like a resume, and it gives evidence that if you have experience in starting a business, that you've put that experience to good use. But it also lays out the objectives clearly, so they can see that you've thought it through enough, that you're really going to make something of this plan, and hopefully make it work.
Okay, so it sounds pretty important. Do you have any tips on getting started?
Well, start with the basics. Do an executive summary that kind of gives a snapshot of the business as a whole. Don't try to start with the meat and potatoes right at first. I was taught, it's like giving a talk. When you give somebody a presentation, you tell them what you're going to tell them, you tell them what you're telling them, and then you tell them what you told them. And that's the three sections, if you will, of a presentation. So in that first tell them what you're going to tell them, it's an overview of what the whole presentation is going to be. That's the executive summary. And then as you get into the meat of your business plan, you can talk more about market analyses, about the competition, about how you're going to set yourself apart and differentiate yourself from the competition, what your product or service is going to be. And from there, you can outline more about the details of those particular sections as you get more serious and deeper into this meat of the business plan. And then, of course, you need to summarize it well. And just like I said, you tell them what you're going to tell them, you tell them what you're telling them, and then you tell them what you told them. So they basically get it in three parts. But two of those, the beginning and the end, are more summary type sections.
Hmm, kind of sounds like a lot, but I can see why that's necessary.
Yeah, it is a lot, but it's so important that you've got to do it, and you've got to break it down into sections. Don't sit down and try to do it all at one time. You can sit down and write the executive summary, and then as you're writing the details of the business plan, you may go back and modify the summary to include some of those things you hadn't thought about. So just take it on little by little. It's like eating an elephant. You don't take it all in one bite. You eat. Not that I've eaten a lot of elephants, but you can get through that elephant if you take it little by little.
Hey, thanks, Pops. No, that really does give me a lot more confidence to start working on that plan.
That's good to hear. And once you put that elephant on the Barbie, call me up because I'll come over and enjoy some with you.
All right. Hey, thanks, Dad. We'll talk to you again soon.
You bet, anytime. See you later, alligator.